Now on Coast TV News.
Speeding hits harder. How much that flash in your rear view may cost you.
We're trying to negotiate a better looking day for Tuesday, but it's not looking too good.
Lewes brings change. Why one city council is rethinking their rules.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
Good evening. It's Monday, September 29th. I'm Grace Eckerly, and welcome to Coast TV News at 11. We're beginning tonight by taking a live look into Ocean City. Looks beautiful. You can see that flashing light out there. We're joined by First Alert meteorologist Paul Williams to take a live look at our weather. Good evening, Paul.
Well, as we're taking a look outside, listen, we're looking at it staying a bit on the cloudy side, and we have a bit of rain to talk about, but it's only that sprinkle annoying stuff that we've been dealing with all day and night long. But in Lewes, we're at 70 degrees right now, courtesy of our tunnel visual camera at 68 degrees. Here's a look at what's happening with our live radar. We still have a little residual sprinkle to light rain action that's happening right now for the most part. But generally speaking, we're going to stay mainly just overwhelmed by a tremendous amount of cloud cover in place. Rip current statement is active for us right now for tonight going into tomorrow. Watching out for dangerous water conditions that will continue throughout a good portion of the night going into tomorrow. You combine that with a gale wind warning, which is talking about 45-mile-per-hour winds off of the coast from Dewey Beach down to Fenwick Island, Ocean City, all the way down towards Chincoteague. So we're looking at very robust winds that can be dangerous if you're caught out there not aware. And then a high surf advisory has been activated for the folks in Ocean City, West Ocean City, all the way down towards Chincoteague, and that'll stay in effect until Thursday. Now, Grace, the other thing we're going to be talking about are two tropical storms out in the Atlantic. We'll talk about how they're going to possibly affect us down the road. Till then, back to you.
Good to know, Paul. Thank you. Now, speaking of our coast, beaches up and down all have rules that govern what you can and cannot do. In Lewes, a committee is getting ready to open up a fresh discussion about how they regulate their beaches. Some of those rules in Lewes were first implemented decades ago. Almost every beach along the coast packed this summer, and with a lot of people comes a lot of rules. Now, in the off-season, the city of Lewes taking a second look at their code because some of these rules were adopted way back in the 1970s.
When you hit the beach in Lewes, you're greeted with that salt air, crashing waves, and a list of rules. Kathleen DeKnight believes that's a good thing.
They're there to help everybody get along.
At an ordinance review ad hoc committee meeting Tuesday morning, Lewes will debate Chapter 63 of their city code, which focuses on beaches. There is a lot in there, including the rule against sleeping on the beach overnight and the ban prohibiting driving on the beach, but it's not clear which of the different rules in Chapter 63 will get the most attention. Additionally, the committee will hear from Parks and Recreation, who are expected to have a few of their own proposals.
It is important to periodically go back and see if the intent of what an original rule was for is still appropriate, or if something needs to be added, changed, deleted. It's important to revisit things.
Visitor Lynn Smith isn't opposed to change, but she does hope some rules stay the same.
The jet skiing thing I really like, because I hate jet skis. I think they disturb the peace of the beach, and I hate them.
Other rules that could be revisited: no open fires, no fishing on the beach, and no horses on the beach. That's not to say anything is necessarily going to change. The purpose of this committee meeting seems to be looking at long-standing rules and asking one important question: does this still make sense?
So, does it still make sense? Well, that brings us to our Coast TV poll. We wanted to know if you think there are just too many rules on the beach. So let's take a look at those updated results from the last news hour. So far, let's see, 54% saying that those rules just aren't enforced well. 24% saying there aren't too many rules, they're just right. 20% saying there are way too many rules, and only 2% saying that we need more. And if you haven't gotten a chance to vote yet, you still can do so on coasttvnews.com or our mobile app. Hey, Maryland drivers, and especially those of you with a lead foot, you may just want to ease up on the gas just a little bit. Beginning Wednesday, the fine you'll be charged if a speed camera catches you going a little too fast is going up. The fines now depend on just how fast you're going. Now, that number ranging from $40 to $425.
Buses are back on the road, kids are back in school, and while it's easy to be in a hurry in the morning, if you're planning to drop your kids off at the Stephen Decatur High School or middle school, pay attention. Speed cameras are watching. Go a little too fast and you may open your mailbox to find a ticket which can go all the way up to $425.
I think they're a little bit too much, but a higher fine probably would be good.
Starting Wednesday, October 1st, speeders caught on cameras across Maryland will see a new fee structure. What used to be a flat $40 fine will now increase depending on how fast you're driving. We spoke with locals to get their take on the change.
This is actually really cool because it gives you a chance to even have, oh, I'm only going 12 over. It's not going to be like the $425. It'll be the 40. There's different ranges.
Kathleen Quillen, who works at a nearby child care center, says the increase could help make school zones safer.
That is a very high trafficked area that could definitely, benefit from this.
Whitney Winrow agrees that the fines could make roads safer, but she warns people, be careful who you loan your car to.
Because if you're not driving your car and somebody else's, then you're getting the ticket.
So if you're driving around Maryland, ease off the gas. And be aware of the speed limit, because going too fast could make you furious when that ticket shows up in the mail.
And some of those people that we spoke with said they've actually gotten tickets from these cameras before. They told CoastTV they'll be bringing extra caution when driving back and forth from now on. 2 Dover teens now under arrest, and a third is wanted after a high-speed chase involving a stolen car. Delaware State Police say around 10 p.m. on Thursday, a trooper spotted a stolen car speeding on DuPont Highway. That car later crashed into a park, and 3 suspects took off on foot. Troopers caught 18-year-old Kenneth Seward and 19-year-old Josiah Wilson, both now facing multiple felony charges, but DSP says they also found a loaded AR-style rifle. They're still searching for 20-year-old Makai Miller. All right, I've got a joke for you. Why did the chicken cross the road? Well, to help the people on the other side. Today, Purdue delivered a truckload of chicken to a food bank of Delaware local pantry partners. They helped to load some of the boxes to be used at their locations, while the rest of that chicken was kept at the food bank's Milford location. The food bank says donations like this provide a key dietary staple that can be hard to provide.
We know that nutritious protein is a valuable commodity for food banks. The food bank is at the center of helping our neighbors and feeding our neighbors. And again, we've been a long-time partner with the food bank, and we just know the value that this protein is going to bring to help filling that gap.
And September is Hunger Action Month, which began all the way back in 2008. It was launched by Feeding America to raise awareness about food insecurity in the United States. And every September, food banks and communities like this one host events, food drives, and volunteer their efforts to help families in need. The construction you see on your screen started way back in May. Dewey Beach making progress on their new 3-story town hall building and police station, but that doesn't come cheap. The project costs more than $11 million. Right now, the wall is just a run-of-the-mill concrete wall, but you can put your name on it in the form of a brick. Dewey Beach town manager Bill Zoppler tells us by charging people for these bricks, they're going to be able to raise money. And that money will go towards important projects, towards landscaping and furniture within the building. If you want to be on the wall, you can buy an engraved brick. They're selling for about $300 each. And overall, the town is trying to sell about 2,000 of those bricks. If they hit that goal, it should raise about $600,000.
Police dispatch area is going to have a huge work area in the dispatch area for the police officers. We want to make sure all that gets funded. The least amount of money we have to borrow, the better.
Zolper tells us later this week you'll be able to buy and sign up for those bricks. That will be on Dewey's website just later this week. Viewers may remember actually when construction on Town Hall started, that was just a few months ago back in May like we said, but Dewey says the facility will house that Town Hall as well as a police department and EMS headquarters. The town says it'll provide administrative offices, a dispatch center, a holding cell, and an evidence room, as well as a courtroom, EMS bunk rooms, and so much more. The town says they expect the roof of that building to be on by Thanksgiving. Taking a look ahead into Milton, new lane closure hours are coming to Route 1 and Route 16. DelDOT says starting Wednesday, October 1st, Route 1 will see daytime lane closures Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. with overnight closures 7 days a week from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. On Route 16. Daytime closures will run every day from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. with overnight work also occurring. DelDOT says these hours will continue through the off-peak season through the end of April of 2026. Heads up to Ellendale drivers, DelDOT announcing a temporary road closure on North Old Slate Road starting today. This closure will go from State Road 16 up towards Fleetown Road. Drivers who are traveling north, you'll need to take SR 16 west to US 13 to Fleetown Road. Then you'll reconnect with North Old State Road. But drivers going south will need to be directed onto Fleetown Road, then south on US 113, and finally east on SR 16 to return to Old State Road. DelDOT says this closure should last until October 10th, pending weather. We're just getting started here on CoastTV News at 11. Lower mortgage rates have more people eager to go under contract. Now, home sales are exceeding experts' forecasted numbers, but the changing scene has some homeowners wondering when the right time to refinance is. But first, the clock's ticking and a government shutdown could be just hours away. What's next for federal workers and services? Well, we'll break it down.
Here's a quick look at your Bay forecast. Looks like another very cloudy, drizzly, gloomy Monday looking day, but on Tuesday. But then we're going to see some sunshine peek out, but temperatures are going to drop with more exposure to the sun. Let's explain why that's going to be in about 60 seconds, so stick around. In Salisbury right now, we're at 68 degrees. We're very cloudy. We have that leftover moisture that we've been wrestling with all day long. And guess what? Tomorrow is going to be pretty much a repeat of what we experienced today. Winds right now out of the northeast at about 6 miles per hour. The dew point temperature's in the 60s. So our main caveat or problem for today has been the high or elevated dew point temperatures. And that's what makes it feel a bit on the tropical side. And by the way, that's also why you're dealing with mosquitoes today, because it's so muggy. Mugginess helps to bring about more mosquito action. But anyway, we're at 68 degrees in Redden as well as Georgetown, Delmar, Salisbury, Willers, and Millsboro. 68 degrees looking like a pretty good thing for the inland areas. Now, we do have concerns for the rip currents that we've talked about a little bit earlier in the newscast, but now we're going to concentrate on what's happening throughout more of the inland areas. And that's just that light sprinkle, but that tremendous amount of moisture content is in the atmosphere because we have such elevated dew point temperatures. Now, that dew point temperature is important because it deals with comfort level and it deals with insect levels as well. But it's staying very breezy along the coast because we're still under a gale wind warning, watching out for 15-mile-per-hour winds. But when you combine that with what we're expecting going to Tuesday afternoon, with more moisture, thick moisture, and a lot of cloud cover, and then light precipitation, this is all sprinkles to light rain for the most part. And wave upon wave is going to push through. But we're just going to be blocked away from the sun for Tuesday yet again. So don't even get hopeful for seeing any sunshine. If you see sunshine tomorrow, you're just lucky. Everybody else is not going to see what you see. Dew point temperatures, that's our heavy mantra for tomorrow. It's in the 60s, which is usually stuff you'd see down in Mississippi, near the Gulf Coast. Lots of moisture with temperatures elevated in the 60s. But Tuesday, we're going to stay in the 60s again, but we get a little bit better. But watch, the worm really turns by Wednesday. You see how the color got a little bit lighter green, indicating 50s, and then actually getting a little bit whiter with 40s. So we're going to start feeling more like fall in the next few days after we get rid of this abundance of moisture. You see, we had past week a tremendous amount of tropical moisture, but now this week the bottom falls out of it, so we're not going to deal with that. So even for tomorrow's along the coast, temperatures in the 70s, winds out of the northeast. With the winds out of the northeast, that's going to add a little extra layer of cutting cool, and then the winds are going to pick up momentum at 36 miles per hour for Wednesday afternoon, up to even near 40. Keep that in mind as we have to deal with the tremendous winds. Now here's Umberto and then Imelda. Imelda is closer to Florida right now, but these are not going to be working in tandem with each other because they're going to fall into this effect where Umberto is going to probably pull Imelda out of the way because of what's called the Fujiwara effect. That's when you have two storm systems that are out in the ocean and they begin to kind of rotate around one another. And every great once in a while, although it's very rare, they become one. I don't think that's going to happen. Finally, here's a look at your 7-day forecast.
It's down to the wire in Washington yet again, and Democrats face a new wrinkle against the federal funding deadline as the White House threatens mass layoffs across the government workforce. Our reporter has the latest on the shutdown countdown from Washington.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt Monday ahead of a scheduled meeting between President Donald Trump and congressional leaders from both parties that Trump postponed last week.
We want the government to stay open. The president is giving Democrats one last chance to be reasonable today.
Despite Republicans controlling both chambers of Congress, Democrats do have some leverage in the Senate, where Republicans hold 53 seats but need 60 votes to clear a measure. Democrats are demanding an extension of Affordable Care Act health care subsidies for millions of Americans set to expire at the end of the calendar year in exchange for their support.
We've said from the beginning that we're willing to find a bipartisan path forward, and our line in the sand is the bill has to help everyday Americans, not hurt everyday Americans.
Republican leaders say that debate can wait.
You don't hold the people hostage for their services to allow yourself political cover, and that's what Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are doing right now.
Democrats say Republicans had plenty of time to negotiate with them before this week.
They have the White House, the House, and the Senate. They've had plenty of months to put forward legislation where they could work with us to get this passed. They waited till the very last minute.
Meanwhile, in an effort to further pressure Democrats, the White House Budget Office has directed federal agencies to draw up plans for potentially permanent cuts to the federal workforce if the government shuts down this week. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Authorities still combing through debris following a church attack in Michigan that left 4 dead, 8 others injured, and parts of the church still in ruin. This is Ivan Rodriguez in Grand Blanc Township, Michigan, with the latest information.
A community in mourning.
It's really kind of tough to see it in the background and realize that, a lifetime of memories is just gone.
As investigators search for answers,
we are continuing to work to determine a motive. In the past 24 hours, our investigative squads and specialty teams have been out all night, exhausting leads.
Worshippers were attending Sunday services when police say a man crashed his truck into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township. The suspect began shooting with an assault rifle and then used an accelerant like gasoline to set a fire, authorities believe.
These are places that we go to feel connected, to feel safe, to be together. But today, this place has been shattered by bullets and broken glass.
Authorities say the shooter died during an exchange of gunfire with police. The suspect was identified as a 40-year-old U.S. Marine veteran who served in the Iraq War.
This is clearly a mentally ill man, and we just don't understand the motive yet. What we know is that people who were just trying to pray at church were killed in their house of worship, a place that should be a sanctuary and safe. And we need to focus on the community right now and getting them the healing that they need.
In Grand Blanc Township, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
It's almost that time of year again for our Bless Our Children campaign. Every year, CoastTV works to make the holidays brighter for kids across Delmarva. The money that you give goes to local charities who buy Christmas presents. Right now, we're accepting applications from those nonprofits until Wednesday. You can find that link in our bio or at coasttv.com. Mortgage rates making moves, and experts say it could be a smart time to refinance. What you need to know after the break.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
Maryland taking a big step to support its residents with hidden disabilities. Starting Wednesday, October 1st, those with disabilities will have the option to add a butterfly symbol to their driver's license or state ID at no cost. The new designation is part of what's being called Eric's ID law. It's designed to help first responders recognize hidden disabilities and respond with a greater understanding while also protecting individuals' privacy. Big changes coming to Delaware's DMV fees. According to the state, beginning on Wednesday, October 1st, DMV fees will rise, and that includes a 1% increase in the document fee for vehicle transactions. DelDOT says to renew your driver's license, our locals will now be charged $50. New specialty plate requests will incur a fee of $200, according to the agency. This is set to be a new annual registration fee for more than 48,000 alternative fuel vehicles in the state. Those fees could cost up to $900, depending on the vehicle. Coming up in sports, we've got a Bayside South clash. DSN has the highlights of James M. Bennett and Pocomoke in field hockey action.
Here's a look at your golf forecast. Fair if you can deal with the cloudy skies and the sprinkles and the drizzle again.
A lot of Americans moving into new homes, and home sales increased 4%. That's according to the National Association of Realtors, which is noticeably higher than what most economists had forecasted. Those officials now citing lower mortgage rates. The average rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage dropped this week to the lowest that it has been in a year. And financial experts say this is actually good news for the housing market. But if you were one of those who bought a home when rates were high, you may be asking, is now a good time to refinance your mortgage and lower your monthly rate? Today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan, is explaining the pros and cons of refinancing.
The American dream of owning a home has remained just a dream for many potential buyers as the reality of high prices and high interest rates has shut them out.
The elevated mortgage rate reduced the transaction activity.
Lawrence Yoon with the National Association of Realtors says home sale prices aren't likely to come down anytime soon, but lower interest rates will make owning a home a little more affordable. As of last week, a 30-year fixed mortgage rate was 6.3% according to Freddie Mac. In mid-January, that number was more than 7%. If you did buy a home when rates were much higher, is now a good time to refinance your mortgage and get a lower rate?
The bigger spread that you can have between the rate you have now and the rate you'll get in the future, the faster that break-even point is going to arrive.
Stephen Cates with Bankrate says refinancing your mortgage can be expensive. It typically costs between 2 to 6% of the new loan amount. Then there's closing fees. Bankrate came up with this list breaking down just how much you can expect in other costs.
You're going to be doing a lot of work because essentially you're rerunning an entire contract for your home.
Kate says you have to really crunch the numbers, and it may be better to wait until rates come down more.
You may be slightly worse off financially in terms of, the net benefit to you over the next few months or even few years.
If you do want to refinance, Cates recommends shopping around for the best rate. You don't have to stay with your current lender. And make sure your credit score is good. The higher your score, the better rate you'll likely get. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
What's going on, everybody? We've got action on the field hockey pitch. It's James M. Bennett and Pocomoke. I send it out to DSN's Darren Wallace and Patrick Cassett for the full game breakdown.
Pocomoke and J&B squared off for a Bayside South Conference clash here on a Monday afternoon, and it was the Warriors who took care of business, improving their regular season record to 5-1, and they did it in dominating fashion. And it was Pocomoke dominating early, and they were able to get on the board first. A little bit of trickeration, some deflections, and Natalie Davis knocked in the first goal of the game.
But then, how would JMB respond? Well, they came marching right back down.
Yeah, trying to answer back quickly, but it's tough to put goals past Maddie Castaneda, one of the best in the state. But they were able to get one by her. You see here Avery Beecham not able to do it. So little sis Sienna Beecham says, I got you. Let's get back even. It was 1-1 after this goal.
Yeah, it works right back to the other Beecham. And It's 1-1 early. We're saying, okay, here's this good JMB offense that we're used to.
Brandy Castaneda has her team rolling. They improved to 5-1. JMB falls to 2-4. Just not enough offense today, but a much better second half for sure.
Yeah, a much better second half that I think they can help build on for their future opponents.
It was a Bayside game that we will certainly remember moving forward. That'll do it from JMB for us here. Let's send it back to the Wawa studios.
Thank you guys so much. That'll for sports. Have a great night, everybody.
Well, it might just have been the best day of the year. Today was National Coffee Day. I know I treated myself to some coffee from Rise Up in Rehoboth this morning. Did you take part, Paul? Could one argue that there were clouds in your coffee?
There's a little ongoing joke in the newsroom. I'm actually not allowed to have coffee because I get hyper and bounce off the wall like Speedy Gonzalez or Woody Woodpecker. That'd be even better. So, dry tech camera right now. 69 degrees actually by 3 o'clock. We have a couple of leftover sprinkles here. Keep in mind that you can always keep up with your forecast. 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by the law offices of Brugstead, Mandalis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your 10-day forecast. We're going to have another cloudy one. But then we'll clear out a little bit better for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and warm up just in time with sunshine on Saturday. Back to you, Grace.
Thanks, Paul, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. If you'd like more local news and weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. We'll see you tomorrow in just a few hours for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Until then, have a great night.